What, Bumberclart has not been latching this up? I'll be honest, this changes a lot for me when it comes to camping, and I just didn't expect this to happen. Yeah, this looks awesome up here, you know. The Stiker is back. You know what I'm saying? Look what I'm dealing with here, man. It's just not in my nature to argue.
Yeah, I just wanted to check that you know that you're not allowed to camp here overnight. If you wouldn't mind packing away and moving on, please.
Yes, people. Good morning. How you all diddling? Well, it might not be morning to you, but it's morning to me. So this is one of them mornings where I have literally got as far as getting in the car. It is 7:41 a.m. We're just seeing the first bits of light, and I still haven't decided where I'm gonna go. So obviously there's Lake District, Snowdonia, and Peak District, and I literally cannot decide. I'm gonna go get some fuel. I'm gonna go to Tezza's, get a couple of bits and that. I fancy getting some bacon, you know, nice bacon butties later on, and then I'm gonna make a decision. I'm swinging and I'm edging more towards the Peak District because it's been a while since I've been there, and I think it's looking like the best visibility, and that's what I'm chasing. Good visibility, that would be nice. Maybe we'll get a sunset. Let's not think that too far ahead. So for now, you'll know anyway, won't you, man? What am I chatting? You'll know because of the title. I forget how this YouTube thing works sometimes, guys. So I'm gonna go get some food, get some fuel. I think we're gonna go to Peak District. What I want to know is, how am I going in there for just some bacon and then I come out with a full carrier bag full of crap? It's easy done though, innit? I just hope I can fit it in my rucksack. That's the problem with setting off at this time, innit? We've got pure rush hour morning traffic vibes going on. Look where we are, it's bloody Nicky's Food Bar. You up, Les? How are we doing? Well, my God woke up on the wrong side of his bed. All the gangsters around, shut him down. This is us, Chief, into Edale car park. Happy days. Suppose we better go see what the crack is with the parking, but I'm pretty sure last time I were here you can park via the pay by phone app, but I'm just going to have a quick look at the machine, see what's going on. Well, that's me all parked up, and I tell you what, it is so good to be out, and once again it's looking like we've actually got some cracking weather. So instead of walking up towards the Nag's Head and along the start of the Pennine Way, I decided to just hit this road for a little section, and then we're going to cross over the footbridge that goes over the railway over towards Upper Booth. So if you're a regular to the channel, you might recall that last week I asked people for some recommendations for some lightweight gloves, and someone in the comment mentioned Simmond. Thought Simmond, that is the make that my down jacket is, my biggest winter down jacket, and my thick, warm winter gloves. And those are waterproof as well. So I thought, why not give them a chance? They're relatively cheap. I think these were 25 bones, and they're supposed to be waterproof. So if they're as good as those other ones, then they shouldn't let me down. The main important thing, I wanted them to be nice and thin, not too warm, just something to take that wind chill off, but also something that's going to be waterproof. So although it's not actually raining or forecast any rain today, I am going to give them a little test out, see what they're like. So far, so good. I can't actually believe that it's been 3 years since I last went up Jacob's Ladder, and I've got a feeling my fitness is going to have improved quite a bit since that first time I went up there. I'd like to think so anyway. What I'm not sure has improved is my navigating skills, because I think I forgot to turn off and I was just ignoring my watch. Is this the one? Yeah. We're here. Just passing the Edale Methodist Chapel. If that's your kind of thing, get yourself popped in there. Well, one thing's for certain, I definitely didn't need them gloves. I've took them off already because I am sweating. Now I'm just on the railway bridge and we have got a train. Look at that for timing. Yo! What was saying? Couldn't have timed that any better, eh? Manchester Piccadilly line. And I'll tell you something as well, how nice is it to see decent visibility towards the Kinder Plateau. So I've been doing some thinking about where I can potentially pitch up for the night. Now unless somebody else is already on there by the time I get up there, I'm going to head towards the Swine's Back. So it's not quite as far as the Kinder Summit, but it's somewhere that I've never been and I'm always up for trying out new places. The reason why I've stopped walking and I've slowed down is because I've just hit some hectic puddles. We have been getting a lot of rain. It feels like the rain has been non-stop, but just every now and then we get the odd day, usually once a week, where it's actually dry. And fingers crossed, today is going to be one of them days. Oh no, what have I just done? I have just walked through some right bog and I don't know how we're avoiding this, to be honest. Seems like this full section is just really waterlogged. Oh no. I am really banking on these trainers to be waterproof. They used to be waterproof. I'm just hoping they're still waterproof. This shows how much I know this area. In my head, I was thinking we were sort of heading that way, just in that little valley there. But we're actually not. I think Jacob's Ladder goes that way. So the Swine's Back must be somewhere in that direction. Somewhere in that direction is about as technical as I can get in these ends. Where's Paul Messner when you need him? Yeah, that settles it actually. I'm definitely going to head up Swine's Back because we bought bacon, haven't we? It's like it was made to happen. But to be fair, I'll be lucky if I'm not on my back by the time I get to this place with all this slop. You know what I'm saying? Look what I'm dealing with here, man. Gonna have to take a wide berth, I reckon, round there. Yeah, I suppose walking through all this bog serves me right, really, because I was looking at my new swanky hiking boots that I've been wearing over the past few weeks, and I thought, do I really need them today? I'm not going to be doing anything technical, so we should be all right with the trail runners or whatever these are. They're sort of like a mid-top trainer. So if I end up with wet feet today, I guess I'll be paying the price for that decision. Hey up. What bumperclart has not been latching this up? It literally says it there, please close and latch the gate. And you shouldn't need to be told either. Bit of common sense that, kid. Really difficult that. Oh God. Look at this. Look at this slop. Can we hold on to these branches here to stop us sliding? Oh, I won't be holding on to them. Nah, this looks gnarly, this. Because it slipped down here and end up in there. Wow, get extension on that. That's a long one, that. Morning, you alright? Yeah, good, thank you. I've just passed Upper Booth. I'm now making my way towards Jacob's Ladder. So the first couple mile of this hike is really flat. You're only really going to start doing some ascending once you get to Jacob's Ladder itself. And if you're not warmed up by the time you get there, Jesus, you'll be warmed up by the time you've got to the top of it. Hey up, look what I've spotted. This is the sign of someone that could have been in grave danger, because these are the remains, correct me if I'm wrong, of some micro spikes. And I am defo going to have to ditch this waterproof, I reckon, before I even attempt to start climbing Jacob's Ladder, because I am sweating like Michael Jackson at an under-10s football tournament. Well, we have just got to the start of Jacob's Ladder. It's worth knowing that these peat bogs up here, according to this sign, are 7,000 years old. Steady away now going up here. Easy does it, lad. Now I'm pretty sure that little hump there that you can see, that is actually the Swine's Back. So normally you'd sort of go up Jacob's Ladder and you just stick to the right of that and then head towards Kinder Low. But actually looking at it from down here, I'm pretty sure I've actually been up there before. And that was the first time I came up Kinder Scout. The last time I was in this area, I was doing the Edale Skyline Circular. And we came from over there, along this path, past the Swine's Back. And then when we got to this point, we actually veered right and went all the way over there and ended up on the Great Ridge. So today we've got to the top of Jacob's Ladder. We're meeting at that same point, but we're actually going back on the south, the opposite way to what we was going the last time I was up here. Now, one tiny little problem that I've got is it's only 12:30, I think, so it's far too early to be pitching up. And trust me, I have been taking my time walking up here. I've just been going at a nice, slow, leisurely pace. I probably could have set off an hour or two later this morning, but you just never know what the traffic's going to be like. So it's always nice to actually get to the area earlier. So I am going to go straight up there, up to Swine's Back and check it out. So I can either just knock about up there for a couple of hours and then I'll put my tent up a little bit later on, or we can have a little bumble around Kinder for a bit. I'm not sure. I'm going to get up and have a look first. Make sure we can definitely find somewhere good to pitch for the night. So if this behind me is the Swine's Back, then maybe I haven't been up it before, because I was thinking of those rocks just over there. So let's go have a deek, see what the view is like from up here. Well, at least it's looking nice and grassy. That's always a good sign when it comes to somewhere to pitch. Yeah, this looks awesome up here, you know. Looks really nice and flat as well. I definitely think we're going to be able to pitch up here. Now whereabouts, I'm not too sure. But what are you saying? Looks mint, doesn't it? Now I've swapped from this microphone, you might be able to tell it is quite windy up here. It is quite an exposed area and the wind is coming straight from that direction. And it is just a little bit too early to be pitching up. I just don't want to be that guy. If the weather was really bad, then I'd definitely pitch up, because that could be the difference between it being warm and cold. Yeah, do you know what? I've changed my mind. I can't just sit there for ages, so instead I'm going to go up to the Kinderlow summit and then we'll come back here. I will be flipping if I get back here and someone's pitched up. I'm telling you that for now. Yes, Karen Kearney. So there's those rocks there just in front, and then that little hump behind it, that's the Swine's Back where I'm going to be camping. Now just come up the path a little bit further, and just there you can see the trigger. Now, although this is the most common point to head to if you're bagging Kinder, this isn't actually the summit of Kinder Scout. This is the trig point summit of Kinderlow. Kinder Scout is just a little bit further on, but this seems to be the one that the majority of people go to. You've got to get your photos with trig point and that, haven't you? So that's as far as we're going today. Boom Shanker, Kinderlow trig point. Sick views. Now I'm not going to be hanging around on there, so I'm just going to set off straight back. And to be fair, I thought we'd see a lot more people up here, considering we've actually got a break in the weather today. And guess what tent I am out in tonight? Those that have seen the poles on the side of the backpack may already know it is the return. The Styker is back, and she is back in full force. In fact, she's back, improved, better than ever, after that crazy ass mountain storm camp, whatever you want to call it. The windy ass bastard camp. The windy ass, snowy ass, freezing ass, bent pole ass bastard camp. But she's back with a vengeance. I thought I'd just settle her in a little bit. And what you will see is that I have made a tiny little modification that could potentially eradicate any potential issues that we had before, i.e. stopping the guy lines coming out, or if the guy line does come out, we have a backup plan. And for those that are not aware about what the hell I'm talking about, basically a couple of weeks ago I were out in some heavy ass wind and the pole snapped on this tent I am bringing out, and that is because basically the pole, no not the pole, what's it called, the other thing, the peg came out, which resulted in the pole snapping. So my fault, should have added some rocks to the pegs. So if you haven't seen that one and you are new to the channel, then I will link it at the end of the video, so go check it out. It's a little bit crazy, a little bit mental, chicken oriental. Let's have a little walk over here. Yeah man, it's a nice view that, isn't it? So the sunset, if we get one, I'll be fuming if we don't, should be over there. We've got nice views pretty much in every direction really. So to me it makes sense to just pitch up just on this little plateau section here. But if we are chilling here for a bit, then I'm definitely getting my backpack off. Oh, that's so much better. This does actually look like a nice little place to chill. What are you saying? Cracking view, innit? I think it's time we get this tent whacked up. Right then, let's go over what the hell happened with the pole last time. So one of these pole sections, I'm not sure which one it was, had actually snapped. And luckily, if you remember, I had the Keron 4 GT, that massive red Hillybird tent. Well, that one is surplus to requirements. If you've seen the video, you'll know why. But what that does mean is I am now left with loads of these poles. And luckily, this section of pole piece is exactly the same from that tent to this tent. So all I did was replace the one piece that had snapped, and then there were a couple of bendy wendies. So I thought they would have been fine, but whilst I've got the pieces, I replaced those as well. So what we have now got is 3 fully straight, good as new poles. When I was looking at the poles on that other tent, the Caron 4 GT, by the looks of it, quite a few of those pieces had been replaced as well. So there were some that didn't even have a mark on them. They were literally looking like brand new. So we're good to go now, and the tent is as good as new. One thing's for sure, I'm going to be getting them gloves back on, because that little wind that is coming through is quite cold. Oh boy, there she is. The Stiker, the beast. The beast has returned. Now where shall I pitch? I'm really not sure, you know. Thinking just here. I want to make sure I've got a nice flat spot. Right, so I've put the tent up. I've not guided it out yet. There's very minimal wind, so it's all right as it is. And I'm just going to show you what I've done from last time I used this tent. Right, so basically, this tent had a guy line attached to this tab here, just like it is now. But when this guy line came out, you then put it round the peg. So you put your peg in, as you would. This side of the guy line was attached to the lower tab on this panel. So you had a peg on each corner of the tent, which you'd think, yeah, that's sound. What I've done now is very similar or exactly the same as what the Solo has. I have put on separate guy lines. So we've now got 2 guy lines coming off of each corner. So this has its own guy line with its own runner, its own tensioner, same as before. And I've just put a loop on the end so that I can put the peg in and pull it out. And then I've done exactly the same on the bottom. So there's now 2 separate guy lines. One of the problems I had last time was, because everything was on one guy line, when the peg did come out, there were nothing to stop this top half getting bent all the way down. So like today, for example, it's not very windy. So I've still got the option to put both the guy lines out on one peg, which is fine. So I can put them out, tension them up individually like I would. But if I was in a situation where it was really windy and I knew that wind was going to kick off and we have the potential for a peg to come out, I can now put that guy line in there and I can use a separate peg and put that guy line in there. So by doing that, we're now reducing the chances of the guy lines coming out. Now today, it's not going to be very windy, so I'm just going to put them out on one peg. So as long as that peg is in good and proper, which it is, then that won't be going anywhere. We don't need to use the 2 pegs. Now another option, if you didn't think that peg was in good enough, which it bloody is, so we're all right today, you can get a second peg, use the loop on your first peg, and then put the second peg in as well. So you're essentially pegging out the peg, which is pegging out the guy line. And then you could even put rocks on top of that second peg. So these are all just the little things that I need to be considering when I'm going out on any of these crazy storm camps again. And there we are, pitched up in the Hillyberg Styker. It is so good to be back out in the Styker. And how cool is this tent? So I'll show you one of my favourite things about this tent. Let's go. What are we saying? That is one of my favourite things about this tent. The dual door, dual vestibule, so much space. And on a lovely day like today, when you can just crack both doors open, I've got a stunning view of hopefully some sort of sunset over that side. And then out of this door, I've got nice views looking over Kinder, over towards the wool packs and all that tackle. Should we do that again? Should we go through? Try not to stand on the inner of the tent. So let's climb up here and we'll have another look. Oh, it's a little bit greasy. It's a bit greasy, Kecker. What we're saying? Voos or what? And what he's saying about my tent? That's my tent over there. That red one, big red one. But yeah, this is what it's all about. Smile. Not bad at all, that. There is a few clouds which might mess up my sunset, but for now I'm enjoying the colours. I'm enjoying that sun. It's nice and atmospheric and the visibility is really good. Oh yes. Well, now we've got the cooker set up, I am not going to waste any more time and I am going to get my first bacon sandwich fired up. So I've got 12 smoked rashers, streaky bacon, mate, not messing about. What I might do is just bring this around here a little bit and try get out of this wind.
Excuse me.
You alright?
Yeah, I just wanted to check that you know that you're not allowed to camp here overnight.
Oh, I thought we were alright as long as we were sticking to leave no trace and gone by first light.
No, I'm afraid not. I work for National Trust, so with being the landowner up here, yeah, you wouldn't mind packing away and moving on, please.
Right, what time are we on? Because it's going to be getting dark soon. Am I not alright going first light in the morning?
Because I've seen you and I work as a representative of the landowner.
Okay.
I thought I'd come over and just say, you know, sort of explain to you that you can't camp here.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, sorry about that.
Right, okay. Well, I'm going to have to start packing away then, but it's going to take me a while, that's all. I just don't want to be getting caught out in the dark.
Yeah, no, I totally appreciate that, and I understand that we don't want to get caught in the dark. But I'm afraid the fact remains that it's not an area you're allowed to camp in.
I've always known it as long as you leave no trace, you're gone early, obviously take your rubbish with you and stuff. No fires.
People only can tell you to move on if they know you're there.
Yeah.
By putting yourself here, you've made yourself very, very visible. Sorry about that.
Right, okay, no, don't apologise. It is what it is. Well, guys, that is the first time that has ever happened to me. And I have been asked to move on. I don't know if you can see that guy over there. I'm hoping I actually managed to get some footage of that conversation, but basically, some geezer from the National Trust has just said that I have to move on. So, it is what it is. What do you do? I did say to him, am I all right to wait until first light and then get off nice and early? And he said, no, unfortunately not. So, this could possibly be the last time I ever come to the Peak District for wild camping, because, like I say, that's a first for me, and it's quite embarrassing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I really didn't expect that. Now, I know Bamford Edge and stuff. I might as well just pack away while I'm chatting away to you. I know stuff like Bamford Edge. That is a no-go these days for wild camping. But I always thought, up on Kinder, I thought you were all right. I genuinely did. I thought that was an acceptable place to be wild camping. Now, I did pitch the tent at like 10 to 3, which is about an hour and 10 minutes before sunset. So maybe I should have left it a little bit later. But even then, he came past now. It is, I'll show you the time right now. It is 15:57, but the sun is setting now, 4 o'clock, and yep, he's just got me. I'll be honest, this changes a lot for me when it comes to camping, and I just didn't expect this to happen. I've never even contemplated getting moved on, but I suppose it was bound to happen eventually. At least I can say it's happened now. Anyway, I really need to crack on because it's going to be dark in about 10-15 minutes. Jesus Jones, look how low that thing is, man. Wow. Woohoo, that was sick. How sick was that? I can't believe I'm packing this thing away, man. What is going on? What has actually happened to this evening? I was just about to cook a bacon butty. I bet if I'd have offered him a bacon sarnie, that is the one thing I should have done. I should have said, listen mate, come on, it's a 2-person tent. Have yourself a seat, fella. I'll get the kettle on. Do you want a bacon bap? And we can sort this out. But no. Right guys, slightly earlier than what I'd have hoped for, but there we are. As always, leave no trace. You know how we do it on this channel. leave no trace. We like to set a good example. Unfortunately, the example that I've set for this camp is maybe don't camp in the Peak District. Or, let's be real, maybe don't camp in such a massive red tent in the Peak District. If I'd have been sort of tucked away in the Hilleberg Enan, the green tent, then maybe I'd have been alright, but to be fair, he walked straight past where I'm camping, so I'm sure he would have seen me either way. This didn't help. He said he was just coming down from the wool packs and he could see my red tent, which, yep, it's not surprising, is it? It's red and it's massive. But there's a reason for that. I love my red tents, mainly for filming. Obviously, they're not the most stealthy, I fully appreciate that. But in winter, when it gets dark really early, I just thought it would have been alright in Peak District. So, lesson learned, don't bring your big red tent to the Peak District. My bad. I'll hold my hand up, because we have got to remember, and it's easy for me to forget this. I've been doing this for over 3 years now, never had any issues, and it's so easy to forget that what you're doing isn't actually legal. This is private land, and that's what he was saying to me. And that guy, he said he worked for the National Trust. It is getting dark, so I guess I could potentially be taking one last look at Kinder Scout, because if I'm not going to be camping around here, chances are I won't be hiking around here. Do you know what I'm saying? That is why I go to places to camp. So this could be one of the very last times, if not the final time, that I hike around the Peak District, or at least this area. I said to him, I will be gone by first light. I said it to him more than once. Would that be okay? And he's like, no, because he's seen me now. And he works for the National Trust. And he'd seen that I were filming as well. So obviously, if he works for National Trust and he's been seen on camera to allow me camping here, then it doesn't look good on him, does it? And I wouldn't want that on anyone. I'm not the type of guy to argue with anyone. I could have probably, because he has gone now, maybe tried staying there. He seen me pack away for ages. He was sort of stood there twiddling his thumbs watching, and then he said, right, I can see that you're moving on. So then I was thinking, do I just blend it for a little bit, take as long as I can and stay? But I don't know, it just makes you feel uncomfortable, doesn't it? If someone's asked you to move on, I hold my hands up, I'll do the right thing, and I will move on. Now obviously, if I was pitched up somewhere remote, then A, I wouldn't have been asked to move on, but B, I would have argued my case a little bit more. I'd have been like, listen mate, it's not safe, it's going to get dark, I don't really want to be hiking in the dark. But obviously, it's not actually that far to the car. I've got about 3.5 miles or something, no more than 4 miles. Pretty sure the way I came earlier, it was 3.5 miles to the swine's back. You little swine! You little swine! I definitely should have asked him if he wanted a bacon butty. I could have struck a nice deal with him and said, look mate, sit down, have a butty. I'll delete any footage where you may have appeared in the background or whatever, because he did walk past. I'm sure I walked past my time lapse as well. I'll have a look, see if he's blocked out my nice little sunset. But yeah, as you can see, it's getting dark now, and I did not expect to be walking down here this early, or this late, whatever you want to call it, this late in the day, but this early in the camp. But it is what it is, and we live to fight another day. I knew I should have gone to the Lake District. Definitely going to the Lake District next week, because if I twist an ankle wankle coming down here in dark, I won't be happy, John. I did pack 2 head torches, so I've got them in my pocket, ready to go. Luckily, full moon's out, so it is making it a lot brighter than it actually is. And I'm not sure how it looks on camera. Can't touch, because these gloves don't work on the screens. We need to get a move on, because I want to watch I'm a Celebrity tonight. And I've got a hike now for 3.5 mile, and then I've got to drive for 2 hours. We'll be home for I'm a Celebrity and a bacon butty as well. That is definitely what I'm firing on when I get home. And luckily I shouldn't even need a map to get back to the car because it's pretty straightforward. The only thing I am dreading is all that bog that I was going through earlier, because if it's dark then it might be harder to navigate that. But I will get my head torch out once we get closer. Not even a breath of wind as well. We're going to have a cracking night's camp. Like, I know I've just said it, but it's just not in my nature to argue, which is why I just mentioned it twice about staying until the morning and I'll be gone first light. But you won't have none of it, man. Not a chance. But you tell me, what would you do in that situation? Would you argue it out and try stay the night? Or would you have waited for him to go and then stayed the night? Or would you have not have even pitched there in the first place in a big red tent? Which I fully understand that. I'm on board with that. I see that now, see it makes sense. But come on, just a bit of wild camping, man. Leave no trace. Not out here doing any harm, causing any trouble. I even take my litter home, me, and I take other people's litter home. Time to draw for the super night mode on these cameras to see if it actually makes a difference. So I'm interested to see how well this looks, because it's looking a lot lighter on the camera than it actually is out here. So that's good. Maybe super night mode is doing its job. I guess it were bound to happen eventually though, eh? I am well into triple figures when it comes to nights camping in a tent, so I suppose we've done well to get this far, to be honest. That's Jacob's ladder done with. Wow, it is dark now, isn't it? Thank God for that moon and this little head torch. You can see a light over there. What's going on? Some dog walker. It's not that guy, is it? Not bloody Peak District Ranger final boss. Could be. Man's been collared by National Trust final boss and that. Doing walk of shame down bloody mountain. All my gear on. What is happening? What is going on? You know what I'm saying, man? This area were all lovely and scenic earlier. Now it's like something straight out of a bloody horror film. If I get bummed walking back to Whip by someone lurking in these bushes, then I'll be blaming that National Trust fella. This is all I can see right now. We've got full moon lurking up there, just to give it them vibes and that. We've got all bushes down there with God knows what in. Lurking about. At least the path's nice though for now. I say for now, because I've got all that bog to deal with soon. So I mean, who are these guys, man? About to get jacked. There they are, that's the little geezers. High Peak Estate. The National Trust, residents only beyond this point. But yeah, to be fair, if I owned this land and some stinking little YouTuber started pitching his big red tent in my back garden, I'd be kicking off as well, I think. But would I? I don't know. Sharing's caring, guys. Hello. I didn't see this earlier. I've never seen this before. Luckily I don't need all, but if I did, coffees as well. Shit. Right, so we've just left Upper Booth. That's where that little vending machine and that was. Now this is where shit gets real. Oh, remember this. Big long extension on that. Right, this is grim, this. Oh, this is horrible. Disgusting behaviour in the Peak District right now. Can't even see if I'm walking in a straight line. I'll just follow these footsteps here. These are probably mine earlier. And never mind humans, you don't know what animals are lurking about in this field. There could be bloody bulls on parade. We are officially coming up to the worst section because we've got to get down this little sloppy hill, through that gate and then through that gate. And I remember all this down there, right where a torch is shining right now, is just pure swampy juice. If I don't end up on my ass or with something up my ass, by the time I get back to the car, I will be very lucky. Whoa. But I still make sure gates are closed, because that's the kind of guy I am. So I could have potentially just scrapped this video and you lot would have been none the wiser. But I just like to keep it real with you guys. These are the sort of things that clearly can happen. But like anything in life, all I can do is just learn from it. Do not be taking a big red tent to the Peak District. But to be fair, even if I'd have had a small green tent or a brown tent, he'd have still walked past where I was. So maybe where I was pitched wasn't suitable either. But if he said he were walking about on wool packs, then where can you pitch on Kinder? Do you know what I mean? You're quite reduced with where you can camp if that's the case. But well, we learn from it and we move on to the next one. So I'm looking forward to getting back out camping. I think I'll probably head up to the Lake District. I think that'd be wiser. Hey up, that train's crossing. So that means we're near that bridge. So that means we're not too far off getting back to the car. I'd have been tempted to just get straight back out tomorrow, but I'm just busy rest of the week. So the plan was to camp tonight, drive home tomorrow, crack on with editing this video, and then I'm pretty much busy rest of the week because the day after I've got football because we're at home, so I won't be able to go camping then. And then the day after that, yes, I am going to Blackpool because it is the annual Bradford Bushcraft Bastards Jolly Boys outing. So we go every year to Blackpool, and that is what's happening this weekend. Can't wait for that actually. So I've got a good week ahead. It's just a shame tonight was cut short. That's shag design, it. Right, we're nearly back now. Just about to turn onto that main road that goes to the Edale car park. So I need to have my wits about me on here because there's no paths. So let's get on the opposite side of the road so that the oncoming traffic can see my head torch, hopefully. Oh, finally, Mush. Finally, back at the car park. There she is. Oh, good to see you, love. Don't know what more buzzing to take off. This backpack. Oh, this coat. Sorry, I'm sweaty Betty. Ooh. And that light is bright. So it's just my head torch balancing on top of the camera. Right, let's get in here, man. Let's get out of here. Well, not quite the ending that I hoped for her, but it's just one of them things, isn't it? Like I said earlier, it were bound to happen eventually. And she's sounding ropey. She best get me home. But anyway, it were bound to happen, and I didn't help myself with the tent choice, with the colour and the location. But I'm still adamant that if he'd have walked past my tent, it wouldn't have mattered what tent I were in. He'd have still seen me, wouldn't he? Especially if it had been getting darker, because I'd have had a tent light on anyway. So how stealthy is that? You know what I'm saying? But fair play, he's done his job, and I guess it's worked, because that's a deterrent now for me. I won't be camping in this area again, I don't think. It's just one of them things, isn't it? Plenty of other places to camp in the country, so I think I'll stick to them. But oh shit, give me some shit in comments, man. Tell me what you really think. But if you did like this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Like I say, give me some shit in the comments. Hit subscribe if you haven't done already, and I will see you next week, potentially in the Lake District, maybe Snowdonia. We'll have to see. Right, peace out in a bit. Thank you for watching as well. Appreciate the support. The support is unreal. Legends, laters. 2-hour drive now back to Bradford. Think I might get myself a curry when I get home. Then again, got them bacon sarnies to munch on her, and they need munching. Right, in a bit. Well, I didn't think I'd be cooking these at home, let's put it that way. So this is what I pre-did before I went out. I've got some mushrooms, and I've got some tea cakes there, which I buttered. Although they are a bit mashed up now. I put some butter on them, and I put some tomato ketchup on them as well, just so I didn't have to mess about doing that. So I'll cut them mushrooms up. Although they are looking worse for wear now. Why are they looking so black? Anyway. Let's get this bacon slapped in that pan. There we are, 2 banging bacon and mushroom butties. That'll do for me, mate.